What's up, guys? Jake here. Sorry if you hear a little wind noise, because it is kind of breezy. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and show you guys my new pressure washing setup. I built this a couple weeks ago, but I just haven't made a video for it yet. If you remember in the last video, everything was in the trailer, and I was kind of explaining what I wanted to do. Well, this is basically the finished product. And yeah, it is on the Ranger for right now, but that's just how I'm storing it, because I want to keep it inside, but I don't want to keep it in the back of the truck. So this is just temporarily sitting here. But so yeah, I got, this is a, this is my 100 foot, and this is my 50 foot put together. I explained all that last time, but yeah, this is the hose reel for the high pressure. Well, here, let me back up. This right down here is just a plastic shipping pallet. That's all that is. And then we took some 3/4 inch treated decking plywood and bolted that to the pallet. It's just got 4 bolts holding that on. And then we took and we bolted this reel and this reel together. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy with this reel because I mean, I know it's equipment, so it shouldn't really matter, but still, whenever I unpackaged it, it was all bent to heck, and it's already chipped the paint. And I wouldn't really care too much, but when you're using chlorine, all it does is make it rust. So it is bent to all the heck, unfortunately, which I'm not happy about at all, but whatever. It was going to happen sooner or later. I would just rather I do it and not already have it done whenever I get it. Anyways, so we got that bolted to the pallet. And then this is just my, it's just a, I think this is a 4.5 gallon bucket. So this is the, this is the chlorine that I use. And I just dump this into here, and then I just take my siphon hose and stick it in like that. My wand is in the toolbox of the truck right now, so that's where I like to store it. But yeah, this is basically the setup. And so what I do is whenever I get to a house, because this hose and this hose is already hooked up, because I got a whip hose that comes from here and it comes down like this, and it plugs in to right here. And then the high pressure hose has a whip hose right here, and it comes down because it's 5 feet, so it comes down and around and hooks up to right here. And I had to get, it took a little while. I had to get quite a few different fittings to make everything work. Like, for instance, this hose right here is actually on here backwards. It's the only way it would work. So it took quite a few fittings. Me and my friend helped me figure it out. Took a little while, but we finally got it all squared away. And now it works fine. And then as far as the pressure washer, all I did is I just took these strips. There's one right back here, and then there's one up here on the front. And I just screwed them to the pallet. So all that does is just keep it from, from rolling around or vibrating. That's all that's for. But basically, whenever I pull up to a yard or a house, I literally just back in the driveway, drop the tailgate, because it's on the truck. And I come over here and I pull this pin, because that just keeps it locked so it doesn't, roll around. I grab my hose, pull my hose out, and go hook it up to the spigot. And then what I usually do, I don't know if it's the right or wrong way of doing it, but I go ahead, I plug the hose in, and then I turn the water on just slowly, and all I'm doing is trying to bleed the air out of the lines. And I don't know if it's bad on the pump. You can tell me if it is. I really don't know. But basically, it just keeps it so that whenever you first crank it up, because I have a problem where you first crank it up and then it's like there's air in the lines, so it just constantly has a lot of pressure, then loses pressure, has a lot of pressure, then loses pressure real quick. Kind of like just, so what I usually like to do is turn the water on and let the water circulate through all the lines and hopefully eventually, bleed all the air out. So usually I'll go and I'll plug that in, I'll turn the water on, and then while the water's on, I'll come over here and pull this pin, and I'll grab my hose wherever the end of it is, right here. I'll take and grab it and pull it out. Ah, crud. Well, there's a fail. That was a brand new coat too. Darn it. Well, I'll leave that in the video. Why not? Anyways, I'll just act like that didn't happen. I'll pull this hose out, and while I'm doing that, the water is, just like there's water in there right now, water will start bleeding through. And then in the meantime, I'll come over, I'll go get my wand, and I'll, get my nozzles that I need, and I'll go ahead and I'll plug that in. And then by that time, I'll take and I'll stretch the hose out to however much hose I need. And then at that point, I can basically go to work. I'll come and I'll pour, all this into here, and I'll go and I'll spray the house. I'll usually do it sections at a time. And then whenever I want to rinse, I literally just come back, pull the hose out, or pull the siphon hose out. I'll leave the same soap nozzle tip in, whatever soap nozzle, whether it's that one, whether it's this normal one, or whether it's a two-story one, if I'm doing two-story houses. I'll just come in and I'll pull the siphon hose out, go back and start rinsing just with plain water. It'll bleed all the soap out, and then I'll just be using straight water, and it'll just wash the whole house off. And yeah, so that's basically it. I can usually do a house in roughly, the longest job I've ever been on was a 3-hour job, and it was a really old 2-story house with a driveway, and I did all of it, and it took me about 3 hours to do everything. But I did a job the other day that was a pretty small house, and it literally took an hour and a half. And as far as the setup time, from the time I pull in to the time I'm actually working, washing, was probably about 20 minutes max. More like 15, but 20 minutes max. And then takedown was pretty much the same amount of time. So definitely a time saver. You don't have to sit there and try to roll up a hose where all you got to do is just roll it up manually. So I'm pretty happy with this setup so far. I haven't done many jobs though. I've done probably, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 maybe, which is pretty pathetic. But then again, this is a brand new service, and it's going to take a little while before I can get work, because it's going to take a little while for everybody to know about me. So as long as I keep advertising it and just keep doing it, eventually I'm hoping to get a lot of work. I'm planning on offering this service the entire season this year, because this is something I can literally throw this in the back of the truck and still tow my trailer. And with the amount of time that it takes, I mean, really, I could even do a house wash while I'm on my mowing route, because it really doesn't take that much extra time. Really, because most of my mowing accounts, since I'm by myself, most of them take about an hour anyway. So it would take around the same amount of time. So I could literally throw this in the back of the truck, and I got enough hose here that I can leave the truck parked in the street with the tailgate up, because I can't let the tailgate down on the trailer with the trailer hooked up, because it'll hit the jack. And I can literally just work out of the truck while the truck's still sitting in the street with the trailer hooked to it. So that's what I really like about it. So now I'm starting to ramble on, but I just wanted to take this time and just kind of show you guys this this new setup. I think there's the hours. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. This has been a very, very good purchase. I think this purchase was well worth it. Well worth, you know, everything that it took to get it. Right now I just want to make sure that I can get the thing, I can, you know, make the money back from it, and this, because I think I got roughly about $200 in the setup, not counting the pressure washer, just like that with the pallet. Pallet was free, plywood was free, and then so really all I bought was the hose reel, and that hose reel was like 150 bucks. That's why I'm not too happy about it being all bent up. But what are you gonna do? That's what happens when you order stuff online and it comes all the way across the country. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that, and I'm hoping to be making some videos here shortly. Grass is starting to green up, and my battery's at 5% and it's flashing at me, so I better go. But grass is starting to green up, and we should be mowing here in the next week or so. So anyways, guys, y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next video.